When it comes to investing, we want our money to grow with the highest rates of return, with the lowest risk possible. While there are no shortcuts to becoming rich, but there are some clever ways to achieve this goal. Investing is not about relying on your luck, it's a place to heat your brain cells before the jump. Welcome to a whole new episode of Rexx. In today's episode, we'll talk about the 5 steps to make money from renting a property with no money down. Renting money is a great way to earn passive income. This income stream is not directly tied to our present time, so what are the examples of passive income? A published book, so whenever someone buys the book, the money is coming your way. Rent a house? Or educate a child? No. Before getting into the options, we must know why the renting property is a great side hustle. When it comes to renting, it's not trading time for money. Why should we waste all that money for nothing? This outside of job income comes from things not being used, but we are converting those things into an income-producing asset, and most importantly, it's a great way to help people. Without further saying, a property is not an asset if you don't make it that way. Number 1, so our first step is to rent out fully furnished apartments. The first thing to remember when renting is that payments is for the quality. Let quality be the factor that distinguishes your products from other competitors. If you already have an apartment, make sure that it is fully prepared to provide for a specific segment of seekers. For those of you who already don't own an apartment and are planning to, we'll speak about things you have to consider when buying at the end of this session. So among others, vacation rentals are the most in-demand apartments. You will be able to charge a premium in this potential area not only for your furnished rentals, but for the short nature of the stay. But it is not the just vacationers you can count for these fully furnished stays, but travelers, professionals on business trips, or any kind of people relocating for a shorter span of time. Training your apartment into these corporate apartments is considered an excellent choice for increased income. These short timers can be easier on the furniture than tourists. Furnished apartments are high in demand because of the increased influx of relocations. Another area a furnished apartment has a hold on is being by a host for crash pads, in which people are looking for a land spout for a stay when searching for another permanent residence. The above mentioned are the high-end models you can turn your property into, but when it comes to buying a property, there are certain things you need to consider as well. So once you have a determined property, the first thing to check immediately is the tax. Tax varies by location, so when it comes to buying, consider places with a consistent history of low tax. Also, check the demand for rentals in the area. Once it's all done, one thing potential tenants look for is properties with great amenities. The combination of these 3 can naturally charge more rent. Number 2, but apart from rent, there is one way your property constantly increases its value, which is appreciation. It is the increase in the value of an asset over time. The appreciation rate in house property is dependent on local factors as well as the ups and downs of the economy. According to studies, the average house price in the US has increased in the last 5 years by 37% annually, an estimate of 3 to 5%. Which means that if you purchased a $200,000 home 5 years ago, it would be worth about $274,000 today, and you would have got $74,000 just by appreciation. Some real estate spots have some more advantages than others. Atlanta has an increase of 50% in the last 5 years. So, it is important to understand the factors that affect the appreciation of a property. Demand for roofs can only mean one thing: population. Investors need to check local appreciation. Number 3, next step on our list is all about ensuring uninterrupted income, which is reducing tenant turnover. Being able to run a business successfully is not only about maximizing income but maintaining the inflow of potential, which means one should be able to retain their great tenants and reduce the turnovers. An empty property will change its form from an asset to liability in hours. Not being able to maintain tenants will result in growing expenses. When a tenant moves out, the property must be turned over into rent-ready condition for the next move-ins. It would help if you recognize that no income would be able to come in this period. So, how to avoid this from happening? The first thing before anything is to make a positive relationship with your tenants. Run a background study. Implementing a solid tenant screening before handover is advised. You can take the help of rental applications or screening reports for this study. And another way to reduce turnover is by handling maintenance requests on time. Providing house assistance, well, while some land ones have a system which is to use the property before putting it on the market. This way, you learn about the housing fluctuations and you will be able to study your property first and be more familiar with it before addressing problems. Being responsive to customer needs will end up creating satisfied customers, even showing some less expensive appreciation and building a sense of community feeling in the relationship. Give chances to socialize with other residents. Creating a homely feeling is good for you and will have a part in maintaining tenants. Number 4. The fourth one on our list is how to make more money from the existing plan, which is offering additional services and amenities. Anything out of the basics or fixed is not free. One clever way to increase income is figuring out how to make money from services. Arrangements for laundry and housekeeping assistance are some of the examples of it. Professionals who are always out of time are happy to pay for such welcoming services. You can also have increased rent and resident satisfaction from these services. In high-income areas, amenities are more likely, especially in residential communities. Depending on your budget, you can choose the service from fitness centers, coffee parlors, and dog parks on site to provide value on your units. You can take advantage of less welcoming customs. Owners with pets will be willing to pay more to reduce the struggle. Some states even legally allow pet rent in addition to the base rent. Number 5, the next stage in our list is not about increasing the value of our existing property, but let's see how to multiply it by reinvesting it. Increasing property portfolio by buying more rental properties is the final investment stage. Once you have learned about a market, you have to repeat the process with your second purchase to increase the cash flow. The source is, of course, the rental income from your property. Reinvesting will make your virtuous cycle of growing to grow faster. This is called amortization. The first step is to pay down the amount you owe the property. So, you can pay your mortgage with someone else's money, which is, of course, you are a tenant. Owning a rental property in a long-term possession is the best profitable yet no-risk investment strategy. When it comes to renting properties, people literally think about only one meaning for property, generally a vacated house or room in it. But they are not seeing the big picture here. You can turn anything a person wants for a temporary period into a renting item. The possibilities grow when you decide. There are many non-traditional things you can rent instead of a fully built building, such as providing storage space. There are many large-scale and small-scale firms looking for an unload space. This is one of the more underappreciated ways of passive income. Or you can provide space for photo shoots or parties. People can use it for various purposes. A surge in the population increases and the increased demand for accommodation will increase the price accordingly. While there are multiple ways in this field, have a vision of your ideas and do the research. Hope you have liked the video and give a thumbs up if you liked it. See you next time.